Hey everyone, so as promised, here's an overview of most of Mephisto's abilities. I'm not going to really go over synergies and little details as much, but most of his main abilities should be covered in this video. First one I'm going to go over is Soul Imprisonment plus Special 1. So the first thing you're going to notice is that there's a Soul Imprisonment timer in the top right, which I've kind of highlighted here. What that does is it prevents the enemy or the opponent from gaining any sort of buff while it's on it, and that's at 100%. His Special 1, which I just used there, is going to incinerate and restart that Soul Imprisonment timer. But the downfall to this, and the reason you don't want to always use it, is it uses up one of your persistent charges. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what a persistent charge is and why you wouldn't want to use that all the time, coming up in some of my later clips. But as you can see, I'm down to one persistent charge now, and I'll talk about why that could be important later on. But I did want to show Mephisto against someone like Hyperion, who gains buffs throughout the entire match. Alright, so the next thing I want to show is his special 2 with the Aura of Incineration, plus I'm going to explain the persistent charges and how they work a little bit more. You can see right now, this is an alliance quest. At the beginning of any quest, story quest, alliance quest, he's going to start with 3 persistent charges. Persistent charges are going to go up and down based off different things that you do. Each time you defeat an enemy opponent, he's going to gain 1 persistent charge, as long as he hasn't used any of his persistent charges by using his Special 1, like I showed you against Hyperion earlier in this video. I want to show you just a little bit of his gameplay here. I'm going to use his Special 2 now. What the Special 2 does is it's going to give me this Aura of Incineration, which has 2 purposes. First of all, when I'm close to the opponent, they're going to take damage. As you can see, he's taking 130 damage per second. And the other thing it's going to do is I'm going to gain power whenever Aura of Incineration is active. This next clip is simple. I'm not really trying to show anything except for now I have 4 persistent charges. And I'll talk in a second a little bit more about why you want to keep those persistent charges. It has to do with the way that he regens, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Next thing I want to show you is his Special 3, and just the fact he's poison immune is what I'm showing here, but he's also Frostbite, Cold Snap immune, as well as Incinerate immune. And the awesome thing about him getting incinerated actually is he gains power when he would take incineration energy damage. Okay, so here I'm going to show you his Special 3. When you use his Special 3, you want the opponent to have 2 bars, and if you saw before, Zimboid has 2 bars before I use his Special 3. His Special 3, it'll drain 2 bars of power, and as long as it drains 2 full bars of power, he gets the Aura of Incineration for the rest of the match. The big difference between the Aura of Incineration with Special 3 and Special 2 is this one doesn't expire, whereas when you use it with Special 2, the Aura of Incineration will expire. Alright, and finally, why the persistent charges matter, and I'm going to show you that based off his regen. You can see here, I have now 6 persistent charges, which is the most amount of persistent charges you can have. I'm just going to let him hit me at the beginning so that I can go under 30% health. Once I reach under 30% is when the persistent charges are used up so that Mephisto can regen. And here you go. I'm now going to regen 2,000 health per persistent charge. You can see the persistent charges going down as I gain health. And that's a total of 12,000 health that I'm going to get over that 6 seconds. And what makes it even better is he's invulnerable to damage during the time that he's regenerating health. So not only is he regenerating health, he can't be hurt. So I obviously don't have him awakened, so I wasn't able to show that ability. Really the only difference there is that when he's being hit, he can activate the Aura of Incineration and gain power again through that way. And the other thing that it does is it makes him immune to passive accuracy abilities. So people like Black Widow, who sometimes you can't parry, he'll be able to parry her, and so that's really nice. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you liked what you saw. Thanks again.